The other night, I had a dream. It was a world full of kings and queens. But it was cold, dark as the night. We were the fire under moonlit skies. We weren't divided, we were the same. And we were free, but we all wore chains. We couldn't see.
All right. Uh, I said that I would do a video showing off what build I use to solo the Elder Dragons. So far, I've only killed Kushala and Valhazak and Nergigante. I haven't fought Teostra or any of them with it. I'll show the build and explain how it works and is supposed to be used, and the stuff that can be swapped out on it so you can fit it to kind of whatever you want. Like, so if you can't get all the decorations or the skills or all the armor pieces, I'll go over what can be swapped out, what can't be swapped out to make this work. And then I will play a sped up piece of gameplay where I'm fighting, most likely it'll be Nergigante, showing how the build is used and how it performs. First off, I have my cat using the Vigor Wasp. It doesn't really matter his armor, weapons, it's all your preference, but you want him with the Vigor Wasp so he can keep you healed up, and you can use the gun to shoot the stations he puts down when you're close to him to heal yourself. So it helps keep your HP up for whenever it happens to get low. For this, you're going to want a heavy bow gun that you can at least equip a shield to. I'm using the Shatterchrist Plus. I haven't gotten the upgrade just yet. I'm not sure what I need for the upgrade. Simply because it allows for pretty decent reload, because I have 2 shield mods and a reload mod on it. And it will allow me to fire Cluster Bomb 1 and Cluster Bomb 2s without having to reload between shots, because you can only carry 3 each, and the clip has a capacity of 3 for those. I'm missing Legiana Gem. Okay. I have to farm that later. But how you're going to want to use the build is you're going to put your shields and your reload mod. You're going to want reload mod for heavy bowgun because they reload slow, and it helps reduce your vulnerability window for when you're reloading. So when you go into the fight, you pretty much are going to aim the entire time, because while you're aiming your gun, it guards for you. The guard does not work when you're shooting or reloading. So you want to kind of take advantage of pauses in enemy attacks and movements for this. Now, your big pieces of this is the Urigan chest piece and belt, and any other piece you want. I prefer the greaves because of the skills it adds. The chest piece gives you 1 level 2 part breaker, so whenever you, and that's from my slot, so it makes it easier to damage parts, so you can break parts easy, such as the wings on a one of the creature, or you can break its horns, you know. And you get 1 level for the chest piece, 2 levels for the second level for the wait, is that, yeah, okay, um, I- and you get the second level for the waist piece. It also gives you uh, the chest gives you a slot, and you get 2 slots with the belt. Now I have a piece for guard and a piece for defense in the belt, along with my free meal and my chest piece. Uh, but you get so you have level 2 on part breaker, which increases your damage by 20%. On the greaves, you have 2 levels on guard. So by default with this set, you deal 20% more damage to parts, and you have decreased impact from attacks and reduced stamina when you're guarding. Because whenever a creature hits you, it takes away from stamina along with reducing the damage. The reason why you want all 3 pieces of this armor is for this skill here, which allows you to guard against unblockable attacks. This way, if there's any attack that you normally wouldn't be able to block against, you can block against it, and you don't have to worry about anything because now you can pretty much block whatever you want to. I haven't seen anything yet that gets through my block. Uh, then I'm using the Great Jagger's Helm for Speed Eat to increase how fast I drink potions. It's less time I have my gun put up and eating, so I can hurry up and pull the gun back out and go back to guarding and shooting. Which with this gun here, actually you can actually put it up and pull it out really quickly compared to some of the other heavy bow guns, if I'm not mistaken. It just, to me, feels like it's a lot faster, so I could be wrong on that, but it feels quite faster. And I chose to use this here for 2 levels of defense boost. This has 3 because I have a gem in it. After you figure out what gloves and helmet you're going to use, you're going to want to use armor spheres to increase these to the maximum defense you can get them up to at this moment. The very maximum. Another thing is with your gem or my charm, you can use whatever you want, but I would advise using the Divine Blessing level 3 charm, because whenever it ticks, and it ticks very, very often, it will reduce any damage you're taking by 50%. It's got a random chance to activate when you get attacked, but I notice it activates every 3 or 4 hits, usually. It's all kind of seems to be on luck and Vitality Mantle. Because Vitality Mantle will last quite a long time with the reduced damage you're taking. For my decorations, I'm using defense jewels. I have only 3 defense jewels, so I'm using that, which gives me plus 15 defense. I'm using an armor wall jewel to up my guard skill up, so it's basically the same, but it greatly decreases the impact of attacks instead of slightly decreases them. I'm using a sated jewel, so 25% of the time that I'm eating or using a potion, I have a that chance that I'm not actually going to use the potion. Just so I use less items, and it's not, I don't have to worry about running out. And in case I do happen to get killed, I can come back with increased attack and defense up to twice, so that is up to 20% more attack and 30% more defense, which is quite a lot. So in the end, oops, open my map. You're looking at having your my attack power is sitting around 263. My defense is 378, which is what you're looking at. You want to try to get defense at minimum of 350 for the Elder Dragons. Anything else in the game, 300 is fine for the Elder Dragons because they hit kind of hard. You want 350. Also for your low tier tempers, you want 350 or higher. And for your skills, you're looking at having the Urigan protection, so you can block unblockable attacks. You're looking at having defense level boost, a minimum of, I believe, 2, but I have 5 on here for elemental resistance and 25 extra defense. You have guard 3, divine blessing 3, part breaker 2, speed eating 2, fortify and free meal. Now you can, like I said, you can swap the helmet, the gloves, and the boots around. If you take the boots off, you need to put an Urigan glove or helmet on to help with that set bonus. And you can swap the heavy bow gun to whatever bow gun it is that you feel like you want to use or you're comfortable with. This is just the one I prefer because, again, the recoil on shots isn't so, or on the ones I'm actually going to be using, isn't so bad on this. Neither is the reload speed. And when I use the cluster bombs, I can basically shoot all 3 of each at one single time. So this is the one I choose to go with. Plus, to be able to pull it out and put it up real quick helps. Because again, it's just less time that you're vulnerable to attacks. And you just don't want to be vulnerable to attacks. And that's overall the build we have. The Sated Jewel, Fortitude Jewel is not needed. You can throw in defense jewels, resistance jewels, whatever. I keep my defense jewels in. If I'm going against like Teostra, I'll swap out 3 of these for 3. I'll keep my defense jewels, but swap out these other 3 for fire resistance. Which, once you hit level 3, it gives you extra defense and it gives you that 20 fire resistance, which should be 20% reduced damage from fire, because it should be 1% per resistance point. So that's 20 extra percent. If I'm fighting Valhazak, then the Miasma Jewel is what I put in my armor to keep from getting his debuff. And you just swap your gems up based on what it is you're fighting and what you need. For Nergigante, this is what I'm using. Now I will pull this up and show how this works. And I use my lucky voucher to double my money. Now, I'm not sure against how this will be against rank 2 and 3 tempered. I haven't gotten that far, and this may need adjustments, but I know that this is a really good build for the first time you're fighting the Elder Dragons. The Urigan pieces are the only pieces of this armor that is actually hard to get. I was able to craft all of this, but just extra leftover stuff that I had. Normally I'm using the bow or the switch axe, but I'm going to come down here and hit this before I go on this quest. I haven't been on today. Teostra, I probably should have fought Teostra. honestly. Uh, I gotta make sure I get my ammo, but oh, I do have it. Okay. But the Urigan was the only thing that I had a problem with because he's just a monster that annoys me the most out of anything on here. Uh, but now we will come over here and fight Nergigante. It should take you anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes to kill him. This build is not set up to be very strong, but it's to maximize your survivability, and you're basically just slowly over time going to wear down the creature. So you want to keep your guard up and just take your pot shots at him whenever you have an opening. I was firing and didn't have my guard up. But you see, he can barely deal any real damage to me. I don't have anything hotkeyed, I don't think. But then you just go to work. I originally got the idea for this build from one I saw online, but I didn't exactly like what it, how it was. I wanted to go for one that's more defensive rather than offensive. Because I figured surviving the fight was more important than killing the creature off as fast as possible. But your real only thing that will get you killed is just bad timing on your part. Bad timing on reloading, on shooting, or just not paying any attention. You're going to have some slip-ups, but it's nothing that should get you killed. And it may seem slow going, but it's pretty much guaranteed win on the Elder Dragons. You just take some time. We take this off to let this start to recharge. And he's going to do his dive bomb attack here shortly, which should not deal a lot of damage. Or maybe that was his dive bomb. It didn't seem like it was. I just know he had all those spikes on him. And that was my bad. I was still reloading. But that's what my cat is for. But besides just bad timing, it's really hard to die using this build. You just slowly pay attention, take your time, and just wear them down. That's pretty much it. If you run out of ammo, you can craft more in between fights, or go back to base for ammo. I find it kind of hard to use the hotkeys or the radio menu, whatever you want to call it. When I'm in a fight. But that's just me. It's just not something I'm used to using when playing a game. And you just sit back and slowly work on it. Ah, his tail. Forgot about that. Also for this build, I would advise using any of the metal heavy bow guns, because they can do that machine gun. That's a pretty good way to deal out your damage. Man, it seems like every time I stream or record, my ability to play a game goes right out the window. Good thing I got my cat to back me up. This is easier if you have someone else to play with, because it allows them to take some of the heat off you, especially if their cat is using the shield. Again, my bad. I thought I could shoot that before he swiped, but I guess I couldn't. I tried to reload there. My timing is just horrible. But overall, he's not that hard to beat. You don't have to heal nearly as much as you normally do. I mean, I wasn't able to kill him until I started using this build, and it took me only about 26, 27 minutes. So, and here's his dive bomb attack. And now I got an opening, so I'm going to drink a potion, and I can do that really fast. Oh, he's just going to leave the area now, which works for me. My cat didn't get to me. I actually see my free meal kicked in twice there, and I didn't actually use a potion for any of that healing. This spot here, if you can get the timing, you can knock the crystals down on him, which now he's over here, I guess I couldn't reach. And they'll deal quite a decent portion of damage to him, along with stunning him for a moment. But as you see, he doesn't deal out a lot of damage, and this is nowhere near enough defense to do something like Arc Tempered or most likely the Tempered Elder Dragons. I didn't get to it fast enough, I missed. But when he's on the ground, stunned or asleep or anything like that, you want to hit him with the cluster bombs and the Wyvern's Fire or the Wyvern ammo to deal out your major amounts of damage. All I have is sleep ammo too, so I would only be able to knock him out once. He overall isn't that hard to get to go to sleep. And as you can see, he's already down. And I hit him with all 6 of those cluster bombs. I'm actually running low on some of my resources, so I'm not so worried about that little jump attack because it barely does anything to start with. It's just kind of something to trip you up a little bit. And see, there goes his horn. Here comes his special attack, so here in a moment, I believe he should be getting a little tired. Which, because this gun has exhaust ammo also, we could help that along a little bit too. Because you can use the exhaust ammo and help lower his stamina, so he's got to stop and take some breathers. Or I could just miss and it'll make a difference. Whatever. I don't know why I play so badly while recording. Let's go ahead and reload everything. I have my cluster bomb ones there. And now I need to look around for items that he dropped, because I think I saw 1 or 2 lying around here somewhere. I'm just not sure. I know I saw one. I'm not crazy. Or maybe I am. Okay, whatever. But you just hang back and just just let the game do itself. He will take care of him, of everything for himself. I probably should go back to camp. I don't think I have any more sleep. I've been using this build and trying to get my timing and all a little better than what it is. Because I did have some problems with Kushala. So I kind of ran out of resources. I hadn't been using the bow guns until just here recently. So crafting the ammo wasn't something I was so worried about. And I haven't actually gone out collecting resources since I got into high rank. I had enough resources built up from doing just low rank by itself that I haven't actually needed to go back and gather resources. And I have my cat with Beelzebub's weapon because of the fact he can trigger those explosions for 120 damage apiece. Otherwise, I just cared about my cat taking some of the force of these attacks for me. You see, he's already not doing so good, and yeah, it's only been like 18 minutes, so something I've never actually really used much was the bombs either, which probably had made things a lot easier, but up until I got into Nergigante and all these Elder Dragons, I haven't actually had problems with fighting anything. I pretty much used the bow for most of low rank, and now I really only use it for anything that flies. Is he down there asleep yet? Okay. That's what I was waiting for. But once I got here, the bump up in difficulty was a real pain. I'm not sure if I could sleep him again, to be honest. Because you think it usually takes 3 or 4 shots to put him to sleep the first time out of my ammo 2, and it takes the rest of my ammo 2 and a few shots from 1 to knock him out the second time. He also may not leave me alone so I can get an opening to keep this up. Okay, he actually will go to sleep. Awesome. I guess I just got a little lucky with that. And there goes his other horn. Pierce ammo will probably be your friend on this. I know a high rank Diablo's horn, I managed to break it with like 2 sticky ammo and 3 piercing 3s to the face. And that sucker broke. And then it just took 1 cluster bomb to the face after knocking him out asleep to break that other horn. So, your ability to break body parts with the 2 levels of the skill is pretty decent, honestly. It's a lot better than what I thought for just 20% increased damage. It would probably be better if you could end up getting the 30. Something I can't do, but right now. The only thing that the part breaker doesn't seem to help with is cutting tails off. Because I can pretty much use every shot of my slicing ammo on Nergigante's tail and his tail never come off. Oh boy, that's my bad. My cat should be healing me any moment if it stops drinking potions for itself. But that's fine. I backed up far enough, I don't have to worry about it. I kind of let my guard down for a moment there and took a hit that I didn't really need to take. All the Elder Dragons have a special attack that deal out a high amount of damage. And can pretty much kill you with 1 shot. So this build will help you survive that. Not like it's that once you hit 350 defense, it's not like if they don't become a lot easier anyway to fight off. But with this build allowing you to Falling Crystal, this build allowing you to basically attack and guard at the same time, along with the ability to hit with statuses and everything. Here's a pretty great build. It could also possibly be used with bowgun and lance as well, but I haven't ever used them. And oops, haven't really tried. And yeah, my cat wasn't going to heal me, and I didn't have a long enough shot to do anything about that, which is fine because that just took my defense up from 378 to 426. So in the end, I'm coming back with more damage and better defense, and it's not that bad. The only problem is with this is when you're going against an Elder Dragon or any creature that is actually able to deal out any portion of damage, or after the fight's drug out a little ways, and your HP is getting low, and your cat doesn't have any HP, so it's constantly chugging potions, your cat won't heal you. So it's just try to find the best opening you can to heal. He's not asleep, so there's his special attack again. Those crystals are pretty much the only thing to watch out for in here, because even if you're guarding, I think they'll still flinch you. They only seem to hit me whenever I'm attacking, so... Okay, well apparently I can't guard them. But they'll be the only things to watch out for, really, because he'll knock them down on you just completely out of nowhere. That's my bad again. I always do so poorly when I'm recording, and I just don't seem to understand it. Plus my HP's not that... I don't have that much HP, so anything with like HP boost would also help out a lot. As well, so you could trade some skills for that. And he's down. It took a little longer than expected. I didn't have that as many... I think he was easier the other 2-3 times I killed him. It took me 27 minutes, yeah, so 20 to 30 minutes. This is about the same time it took me the first time, except the first time I didn't die, and I had a lot more openings. Nergigante, yeah. And really, overall, how quickly you can finish him off depends on your timing, because if your timing's off on your reloading and you get damaged, you need to heal that. The high defense does help take some of the blow off of that, but there's only just so much that your defense can do for you. So, this is just... this is not the best or fastest or easiest way, really, to beat him. But what it is that it offers something for players who haven't yet to beat him, or for solo players, kind of give them an easy alternative to whatever build that they're using that they're having trouble with. My normal build, or well, builds based on my weapon and what I'm fighting, I don't have any trouble with anything else in the game with fighting. It's just the Elder Dragons I have an issue with, and this build here has helped me fight 3 of them so far. Kushala was my only difficulty, and that was because of the wind. I didn't have... I would have to try to craft armor with better wind resistance with the windproof skill to help out with that one. But I need tails, and I can't cut his tail off and get any of But you know, it's just something to help out new players. So that they're able to better progress through the game. I really need this. If you want a more offensive version of this build for damage, you could replace the alternate 3 skills on here with any of your offensive skills you want. Damage bonus, anything that could strengthen the gun or the weapons you're using, or anything that could work with affinity. And you can trade out the helmet and the gauntlets for any of that. I'm running low on everything. I gotta go back and craft more. But yeah, it's just real easy way to beat the Elder Dragons with very little issues, and none of the armor is actually that hard to get. Some of it can be a little pain. The Great Jagras helmet, you should have more than enough to craft it by the time you get here, even if you've not already done it. The high metal gauntlets wasn't that hard for me to craft because, again, I had so many resources. I'm just now starting to run low on anything that I've had. Mostly when it comes to high tier stuff, I haven't actually gone out to collect high tier metals, so I'm already low on those. The Blessing Charm 3, without knowing it, I was able to craft this and fully upgrade it by this point because of stuff I had lying around that I hadn't used yet. The Urgan was the only thing I actually had to go out and farm parts for, and he was a pain. So that's my build.